just shocking. 16 kids in that kind of condition.
Welcome back to Reality Distortions. I'm Julie. Today, we are opening an investigative folder on a case that is unfolding right now, in real time, in the summer of 2026. Because this is an active, ongoing legal matter, we must begin with a vital platform and legal disclaimer. The events and statements discussed in this video are based strictly on public court filings, police reports, and official press briefings from the Ohio Attorney General's Office, the Vinton County Sheriff's Office, and the Defense Counsel. All individuals involved are presumed innocent until proven guilty in a court of law. This video is an objective investigative documentary intended for educational, informational, and news commentary purposes. No private details regarding minors will be displayed or exploited. Your discretion is advised. On June 30th, 2026, the quiet rural landscape of Hamden, Ohio, located in Vinton County, became the epicenter of a national news storm. While executing a search warrant for an unrelated investigation, law enforcement officers uncovered what they alleged to be one of the most extreme cases of prolonged environmental neglect and child endangerment in modern Ohio history. 16 children were removed from a home under what officials describe as horrific and deplorable conditions. 4 adults, the parents, Gary Siders Jr. and Elizabeth Siders, and the paternal grandparents, Gary Siders Sr. and Christina Siders. They were arrested and each charged with 16 counts of felony in child endangerment. But as the initial shockwaves settle, the legal battle lines are being drawn, forcing us to look past the sensationalized headlines. This case is rapidly turning into a profound legal and psychological debate over the boundaries over a generational isolation versus criminal intent. Let's look at the established facts. Vinton County is the least populated county in the entire state of Ohio. A place of heavily forested terrain where privacy is highly valued. On June 30th, 2026, sheriff's deputies and investigators arrived at a home in Ohmer Street in Hamden to serve a warrant in a separate case. They had no idea anyone else was inside. Upon entering, the investigators discovered 16 children, ranging in age from 20 months to 18 years old. The children were allegedly confined to mostly a single room, roughly 12 feet by 12 feet, that was heavily contaminated with human waste. Authorities alleged that the children had spent much of the past 4 years inside this room under deplorable conditions. The children were immediately removed and taken to a hospital across state for evaluation. 2 had to be flown by medical helicopter to a level 1 trauma center, and officials stated that some of the children were initially in serious condition or near death. The days following, state child welfare officials confirmed that the 16 children have been placed in a temporary emergency custody of the state. To give you an idea of the scale of this case, the state of Ohio recently approved an emergency $1 million expenditure just to support their care, noting that this single case literally doubled the county's child welfare caseload overnight. Now it's time for our Reality Distortion check. When a story like this breaks, public speculation immediately runs wild with theories and highly organized sinister cult or active physical activity. While investigators have clarified that they found no cages on the property. Furthermore, the family had moved across multiple Ohio counties since 2008, largely avoiding establishing medical, educational, or governmental records. The invisible wall in this case was not physical locks, but an absolute systemic social and educational isolation. On July 1st, 2026, the 4 suspects appeared virtually for their arraignments. The judge entered a plea of not guilty on their behalf and set their bonds at $300,000 each. If they're able to post bond, they will be subject to GPS monitoring and are ordered to have absolutely no contact with each other or the children. On July 7, 2026, the defendants chose to waive their preliminary hearings, moving the case forward in the legal process. Following the court appearance, the defense counsel gave the public its first glimpse into how they intend to approach this case. Elizabeth Sider's attorney, Thomas Stolley, spoke to reporters and shed light on the mother's background. He pointed out that Elizabeth, now 33, married her husband Gary Siders Jr. back in 2008 in West Virginia when she was only 15 years old. Stolley emphasized that she had lived her entire adult life within this highly isolated family unit, completely cut off from the traditional support systems, education, and resources available to most adults. The defense is suggesting that her worldview was entirely shaped by this extreme isolation from a very young age. And guys, this is where the analytical focus of our channel becomes so important. The defense's early statements raise a massive legal and psychological question. Where does the law draw the line between a profound lack of capacity and a criminal intent? If a person is thrust into a massive caretaking role at 15 years old, completely isolated from society, and raising a family using only the extreme survival structures they have ever known, is it a crime of malicious intent? Or is it a catastrophic failure of community and social safety nets? This is a question the court will ultimately have to address. As we speak right now, the case is moving through the pre-trial phase. The prosecution, led by Wayne County officials alongside assisting special prosecutors from the Ohio Attorney General's office, carries a heavy burden of proof. Because the charges have been filed as second-degree felonies, the state must prove that the defendant's alleged actions caused serious physical harm. The defense is expected to continue focusing on the grandmother's and the mother's personal histories. And they have already filed motions regarding the 73-year-old grandfather's significant health and mobility issues. Meanwhile, the state priority remains the long-term stabilization of the 16 children, many of whom will reportedly require intensive therapeutic care for the foreseeable future. Because this case is new and rapidly evolving and happening right now in 2026, the full story has not yet been written. The legal arguments and the evidence presented in the coming months will challenge how our justice systems evaluate cases of extreme multi-generational isolation and alleged neglect. And I want to promise you all right now, I am going to keep following this case very closely. As new evidence is officially introduced and the discovery documents are unsealed, and as this case moves toward a formal trial, we will update everyone and highly detailed deep dives here in Reality Distortions. We'll look strictly at the transcripts and motions and forensic facts as they enter into the court record. If you want to ensure you are here for every update and every phase of this investigation, please take a second to hit that subscribe button right now. Leave a comment below on your thoughts on the defense early arguments regarding the generational isolation. Give this video a thumbs up and stay tuned. Thank you for watching Reality Distortions. Stay safe, look past the distortions, and I will see you in the next deep dive.